Mrs. Gale, where are you? I need to film another clip for the... We need to film another clip, sorry, for the YouTube page. Mrs. Gale, what are you doing?
Just putting up my cup for World's Best Teacher.
And who nominated you?
Me, myself and I.
You nominated yourself?
Yeah.
Let's be honest, that cup belongs to either myself or Miss Logan.
Well,
Come
actually,
on.
I think it belongs to either of us. I think it's the Year 6 swimming cup.
That's tragic. Should we go on with the lesson?
Yeah, let's do it.
Hello, boys and girls. You even going to say hello?
Hi, sorry, I'm just so excited.
God.
That was the world's biggest jump.
Hi, boys and girls. It's Miss Mia and Mrs.
Gail.
And we are here to teach you another English lesson. So hopefully you've all been getting on with the Macbeth the past 2 weeks. And we're just going to continue with it. So shall we get started?
Yep, let's go.
So remember last week, Mrs. Gale, we finished off on determiners. So we're going to carry on because there are 4 different types of determiners. How many different types?
There's 4 different types.
And do you remember what they are?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask me that. Yes, I can remember
Hold on,
them.
she's looking at the back wall again, boys
I was
and
just
girls.
having a quick look and then I'm just seeing to think, right, okay. Articles, quantifiers, demonstratives, possessive.
Brilliant. So we've got articles. Do you remember the articles?
A and the.
The, a, and. Say it with me.
Same thing.
Say it with me.
The, a, and.
Demonstrative. They all begin with T.
This, that, those, them. Oh, fail.
This, that, those, these. Say it with me, Mrs. Gale. 3, 2, 1. This, that, those, these. God, you're so embarrassing. And today we're going to look at possessive determiners. Do you want to show me an action for possessive?
Belonging. Yeah.
Now, possessive determiners, boys and girls, are really easy to remember because they are exactly the same as what, Mrs. Gale?
Possessive pronouns?
Brilliant, well done. That pause there, that long pause. So, possessive determiners are determiners that show possession, so possession, in a sentence. These are simple to remember because they are the same as possessive pronouns. Now, can you think of any possessive pronouns, Mrs. Gale?
Mine.
Hold on.
Oh.
Boys and girls, pause the video here. Mrs. Gale's super excited today. Pause the video here. Have a little think. Can you think of any possessive pronouns for yourself? Have a little think and we'll be back with you in a moment. Okay, Mrs. Gale, time to shine. Let's go. What do you have?
Mine.
Anything else?
My.
Yeah.
Mine, my. Oh, possessive. Us.
Yeah.
Go on, you go some. You do some.
Theirs, ours, his, hers. Need I go on?
Lesson.
Right, so we've got... I'm going to say it, Mrs. Gale, you're going to say it after me. And children, please say it after Mrs. Gale. Yours,
Yours.
hers,
Hers.
his,
His.
mine,
Mine.
ours,
Ours.
theirs.
Theirs.
So these are just some of the possessive determiners that we can be using, okay? So what I would like you to do now is the following. Just pause the screen here. As you can see at the top, after I finish speaking, sorry, as you can see at the top, we've got some of the possessive determiners and we've got 5 sentences. What I would like you to do, or we'd like you to do actually, is read each sentence and can you identify the possessive determiner in each one? Pause the video here and off you go. Okay, Mrs. Gale. I'm trying your style of board, so I'm going to see how this goes. Are you ready to go?
I should probably fail. Right, yes,
I've
let's
been
go.
doing all right so
I know,
far.
actually it's much better.
Okay, off you go. The first sentence, the daggers are theirs.
Okay, so it'd be theirs.
Good. The next one, that brooch is his.
Would be his.
Okay. We must go through with our plan. Oh, sorry, whisper. We must go through with our plan, whispered Lady Macbeth.
Well corrected. Right, our.
Good. I'm going to read the next one. This plan of yours is very cunning, responded Macbeth.
Plan of yours, belonging.
Banquo sent his son to the chambers.
His.
Good, thank you very much. And hopefully you got those all accurate as well. Mrs. Gale, 5 out of 5.
Woohoo!
So, today our LO is the following. LO. To use a range of conjunctions accurately. And that's a key word there, accurately. And we've already looked at conjunctions, so you should all be very familiar with the 2 different types, okay? Right, so you are going to be watching this video clip now. So it's called All Hail Macbeth, King of Scotland. Right, boys and girls, so if you're trying to get the clip, all you have to do is the following. Go into Google if the link doesn't work and just type in the following phrase into Google. So Macbeth, Key Stage 2. And then it is the second link here. So Key Stage 2, Macbeth, BBC Teach.
Yeah, look for that BBC.
And then it's a fourth animation. So number 4, All Hail Macbeth, King of Scotland. And then have a watch of that, okay? So really think. Hopefully, boys and girls, you have watched this video clip. And Mrs. Gale, before we look at the key points from this video clip, what happened before this event?
Okay, so if I cast my mind back to the very beginning of Macbeth, those 3 witches met upon the heath and they prophesied about what was going to happen to Macbeth. And they prophesied that actually Macbeth would become King of Scotland. And then secondly...
There's a few other things.
After things... Go on then, you chip in.
Okay, so he'd be the Thane of Cawdor first and then eventually become the King of Scotland. And he was worried because they prophesied something about Banquo's son. What did they say about Banquo's son?
Oh.
That he would also become the
King of Scotland, yeah.
Okay, carry on.
So after those witches had prophesied that, they kind of left the heath, and then Macbeth came back and he told Lady Macbeth all about what was going to happen, potentially what he heard from the 3 witches.
And he was amazed because the first prophecy came true because he actually became the Thane of Cawdor. And then he thought, oh, do you know what? I could become king. Sorry, carry on.
That's all right.
You're just forgetting important information.
Well, you just feel free to chip in. That's what we're having.
I will.
So then that happened. You lost my train of thought now. Then all of a sudden, Lady Macbeth is quite keen for her husband to become king, and she persuades her husband to kill King Duncan. That's a terrible action. And then, so she persuades Macbeth. Macbeth to kill King Duncan. Macbeth kills King Duncan, and he's quite upset about it afterwards. And Lady Macbeth helps clear up the murder scene. And meanwhile. King Duncan's sons, Malcolm and Donalbain, flee out of Scotland because they're really concerned about their welfare.
That they are going to be framed by Macbeth because they know that Macbeth was behind something. Stop listening to that beep.
Sorry.
So in this particular video, the following happened then. So point number 1, Miss Scale, off you go.
King Duncan's body is quickly discovered and everyone is informed, including his sons.
Number 2.
Malcolm and Donalbain leave Dunsinane Castle to protect themselves.
And number 3.
Macbeth is crowned King of Scotland.
And number 4.
And Macbeth hires 2 murderers to kill Banquo and his son.
Now remember, why would Macbeth hire 2 murderers to kill Banquo and his son? Have a think. We just mentioned it. Why would he do so? Okay, Mrs. Gale, why would he do that?
Sorry.
Why would he
hires 2 murderers to kill Banquo and his sons because
Why?
he doesn't want them to frame, I'm guessing, Macbeth. They don't want him to tell Macbeth.
No, because witches prophesies that his son will become king. And he
you
doesn't
need to
want
edit this out. Edit this out.
Because
I haven't seen this.
The person who loves Macbeth so much.
I haven't. Edit that out. Edit that out.
So, Mrs. Gale, why do you think they want to? Macbeth hires 2 murderers to kill Banquo and his son.
Because in the prophecy,
the witches
prophesied that his son was going to become king.
Yeah, brilliant. Macbeth didn't want that to happen, obviously. So not only has he murdered once, he's now on this spree of getting power and so on. So he is changing into a very, what would you say, greedy, power-hungry man?
Yeah, very powerful. He wants that power.
Okay, so we are going to be looking at coordinating and subordinating conjunctions, and Mrs. Gale is so excited about the actions for these following conjunctions. Coordinating conjunctions. Mrs. Gale, how do you remember coordinating conjunctions?
Fanboys.
Shall I do that with them, boys and girls? Ready? 3, 2,
1.
Fanboys. And what do all the letters represent then? So we've got F, that stands for?
For.
A.
And.
N.
Nor.
B.
But.
O.
Or.
Y.
Yet.
S.
So.
Good, you didn't actually look at anything. You remembered all
it.
that.
Yeah.
So why do we use it then? So the reason why we use coordinating conjunctions is the following. They're used to join 2 main clauses. So remember, a main clause is a sentence that contains a subject and a verb. Phrases or clauses, any other clauses together, okay? So that's what they're used for. And actually in the text that you listen to me read, there are lots of examples of coordinating conjunctions, and it's probably the most common one lots of people use and children alike use, but is also used quite often, are the coordinating conjunctions. And then the other one is subordinating conjunctions. And how do you remember that, Mrs. Gale?
I saw a wubbub.
See, I go, I saw a wobub. Which one do you like, boys and girls? It doesn't really matter. They both work. This one. Okay, so you don't need to remember this. All you need to do is the following. If you remember the coordinating conjunctions, which are easier to remember, any other conjunctions will be subordinating, okay? These are the 10 most common subordinating conjunctions that appear. There are more than 10. So I'm going to say the letter, Mrs. Gale. You can have a look and you can say what the word is. So I.
If.
S.
Since.
A.
As.
W.
When.
A.
Although.
W.
While.
A.
After.
B.
Before.
U.
Until.
B.
Because.
Good. And which one would you say you use quite often then?
Because. I often
Yeah,
think we use that one.
And we use it a lot in our reading comprehension,
Yeah,
don't
we use it to explain something. So if I was to explain something in the text, explain why a particular character behaved in that way, you'd start with because to help you explain that. It's a really good
Absolutely.
conjunction.
So why do we use and when do we use subordinating conjunctions? So a subordinating clause is part of a sentence that adds additional information to the main clause, okay? A subordinating conjunction is simply the word or words that is used to join a subordinating clause to another clause or sentence. A subordinate clause often begins with a subordinating conjunction. Often doesn't always have to. So if we have a look here, again, from the text, we've got some examples of the use of subordinating conjunctions. And as though is also a subordinating conjunction too. I know it's not here, but like I said, these are the 10 most common ones. Okay? So we would like you to do the following. If you pause the video after I finish talking, that'd be great. So here we've got 4 sentences. And it says the following. Read these examples. Can you think of a conjunction to fill the gap? Now you can use either coordinating conjunctions, Mrs. Gale, how do you remember it?
Fanboys.
Or subordinating
Subordinating
conjunctions. Okay? So you can use either or to actually fill in the gaps. And remember, all of these slides are up on the school website, so don't worry if you can't remember all this information. It will be up on the school website for you to refer back to. So pause the video here and have a little go. Okay, Mrs. Gale, I'm going to read the sentence. You're going to put in an appropriate conjunction, okay? Remember, your answers may vary, and that's absolutely okay. Okay? Right, are you ready?
Yes, I'm just having a think. Yep.
That pondering face.
Yes, hang on.
I'm going to read one at a time, so don't worry, you've got some time.
Yep.
Okay. Number 1. Bells were rung around Dunsinane Castle that everyone will be informed of King Duncan's death.
I would say that would be so.
And what kind of conjunction is so?
Fanboys, a coordinating conjunction.
Well done. Number 2. Lady Macbeth fainted. She wanted to distract the gathering crowd.
I think that's going to be more of a subordinating conjunction. Lady Macbeth fainted. Why did she faint? Because she wanted to distract the gathering crowd.
We could also use as there as well. So remember, there's more than one answer for these. Number 3. Malcolm and Donald Bain feared for their safety. They were suspicious of Macbeth.
So why did they fear for their safety? Either because or as they were suspicious of Macbeth. I'm going to use as because I've already used because.
Good work. And number 4. Something. Everyone slept. Macbeth conjured up a new plan to rid of Banquo. He did not want anyone to get in the way of his title as king.
Okay. So I would say while or
Good.
whilst.
Either or would work.
I'm going to go with whilst. Everybody slept. Everyone slept. Macbeth conjured up, that means thought of, conjured up a new plan to rid of Banquo, to get rid of Banquo. Something he did not want anyone to get in the way of his title as king. So I would say it would have been as or because.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Yeah, that would
also
work as well.
I'm just trying to think of a different one that we've not actually used yet.
I'm really impressed with the scale.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes.
Okay, so hopefully you all had similar ideas or similar thoughts to that of Mrs. Gale. Very impressed with that, by the way. Right, so did you just give yourself a thumbs
I did.
up?
That's why I've got that cup.
Right, so the next activities are following. Again, pause the video after I finish talking. So can you add either a clause or a phrase to complete these sentences? So as you can see, each sentence has a conjunction already, and you just need to complete the sentence. Okay?
So, Miss Mia, before we go into, there's a bit of language here we just probably need to confirm.
Okay.
So, a nobleman. After she fainted, the nobleman. What's a nobleman?
You tell me. What is a nobleman?
No, I'm asking you.
Yeah, but
You planned it.
I'm asking you now.
A nobleman, I would have said like you got Thane of Cord. No, I don't know.
A nobleman is someone who has some form of title, so
Oh, yeah, that's what I was thinking, Thane of Cawdor. Okay, fine. Second thing, we have talked about prophecies. What's
which
a
are
prophecy?
predictions
Mhm,
or
prediction.
thoughts that they have made.
Conjured.
Thinking of. You mentioned that on the previous slide. Anything else?
I think that was it really. I just thought there was nobleman, conjured, prophecies.
Okay,
No
perfect.
one.
So, boys and girls, marvellous mistake. I'm going to bring the screen closer, so please pause your video here and have a go at answering these questions. So remember, how would you finish off each sentence? Have a go. All right, we're not going to go through ideas here, but Mrs. Gale, I might just ask you, just out of curiosity,
choose one.
can you choose one of the sentences and can you finish it off? Anyone?
Yes, I'm just having to think which one I'd quite like to do.
Anyone, Mrs. Gale. Anytime. Let's go.
Just want to emphasise at this point, I've not seen these slides, so I now have to think on the spot. Okay, so Macbeth was a newly crowned king, but he feared for his own safety. So he still may fear for his own safety because he's done the murder, he's done the deed, hasn't he? And he could still fear actually that someone's going to come after him, or he would be discovered that he's murdered the king.
Okay, I'm going to use that same sentence and give an alternative ending as well. So Macbeth was a newly crowned king, but he was filled with guilt. And again, he was filled with guilt because he had committed all these murders and he had sent murderers out to go and get Banquo and his son as well. One more then. So after she fainted, the noblemen gathered around Lady Macbeth because they were concerned about her welfare and they wanted to make sure that she was safe, would be a sensible way to end a sentence. Boys and girls, hopefully you've understood a lot about conjunctions and it was a nice little recap. I'm going to show you the activities now, so just have a listen. But before I do that, we'll just go through two past SATs questions. So question number 1 says the following. Circle the two conjunctions in the sentence below. The passengers moved to get out, but the pilot held up his hand and they stood still.
They also don't tell you here whether it's fanboys or, coordinating or subordinating conjunctions. It just gives you the general term conjunctions. So that could be either or.
And we also know that it's more than one. I know sometimes people fail to read it or they fail to look at it carefully. It's more than one. It says 2 here, but conjunction has an S, so it's a plural, so there's more than one. Mrs. Gale, can you spot it?
Yeah. So at this point here, year 6, maybe pause the video, have a go yourself. What would the two conjunctions be?
Okay, off you go.
Okay. I spotted them pretty quickly, actually, and actually they both are from the same family of fanboys, so they're both coordinating conjunctions. So the first one here, it says circle, the passengers moved to get out. There's no conjunction in there, but the pilot held up his hand and they stood still. So those are the two conjunctions in that sentence.
Okay, and then let's have a look at the next one.
Oh, I like these ones.
That's why I put it up. So tick one box in each row to show if the underlying conjunction is a subordinating conjunction or a coordinating conjunction. So here you've got 3 separate sentences and you've got subordinating or coordinating. So you need to look at the underlying conjunctions and decide whether it's subordinating or coordinating. So please pause your video here, and Mrs. Gale is raring to take the pen out of my hand. All right, off you go.
So quite often when I teach my class this, I say a good exam technique is once you see coordinating, it's just jot down the acronym fanboys down the side, because that's going to really, really help you with this style of question. So I would just jot down that side, fanboys, and I know that if any one of these words are within the word fanboys, then I know that it's going to be a coordinating. If it doesn't fit within this, it's subordinating. Just very, very quickly, fanboys, pause the video. What does each letter stand for? Can you remember? Go.
Okay, Mrs. Gale, can you remember?
Okay, so we've got F for for, A for and, N for nor, B for but, O for or, Y for yet, and S for so.
Good.
Okay, now if you wanted to, you could write all of that down, but actually it's kind of a little bit quicker just to jot down fanboys, just to jog your memory. So, first one here, I like ice skating and roller skating, and appears in fanboys here. It therefore must be a coordinating. I just go straight to the word now, but it appears here in fanboys. It's therefore coordinating. The last one is if. Doesn't appear in fanboys, therefore it must be a subordinating conjunction, and that's worth 1 mark.
Good work, Mrs. Gale. So you have to get all 3 of these correct in order to obtain that 1 mark. Okay. So we are now going to look at the activities after that brief recap on conjunctions. So, bronze. All you have to do is the following. So it says copy each sentence and replace the gap with a conjunction. So it doesn't specify whether it's coordinating or subordinating, you can use either or, okay? So you've got 5 sentences here, and you just need to fill in the gaps with a suitable conjunction.
What might be quite helpful is if you've had a look, watch of the video, is just have down the side written down fanboys, I saw wobub, and then you can just put coordinating above fanboys, subordinating above I saw wobub, and you'll see the different types of conjunctions. And that's quite a useful word mat to refer back to in this type of skill.
Alternatively, boys and girls, you can go on the website, download the actual activity sheet, and it has the coordinating and subordinating conjunctions on the top.
That's also a good option.
Right, so that's bronze. Silver is the following. So add a conjunction to each sentence below. Use a mixture of coordinating and subordinating, so you need to use both. You may up-level the sentence if you wish. So you don't have to. You can improve it by using lots of other narrative techniques like punctuation. You can use adverb openers. You can use different adjectives and so on. You can use figurative language. And then underline the conjunction within your sentence. So you've got a main clause here. You need to add a conjunction of your choice and then add another clause to make it make sense. Now you may want to put a conjunction in the middle and add something and extend it or so on. It's completely up to you. And then gold is the following. Write a short paragraph retelling the events from the clip you watched today. So just from today. You must include conjunctions, both coordinating and subordinating, within your piece. Right, let's see how I got on today, Mrs. Gale. All right, let's see. Alarm bells were raised and Dunsinane Castle became a flurry of activity after the news of King Duncan's death rippled through the halls and the rooms. Immediately a crowd gathered which consisted of King Duncan's sons, Banquo and Macduff. Rumours Macduff is another nobleman who's there at the gathering. He's an important character. Rumours began to spread amongst the noblemen. Not one of them was safe. Amidst the commotion, Macbeth addressed his fellow companions and informed them of the guard's death. Lady Macbeth could sense the arousing suspicion amongst the men, so she fainted as she knew this would buy her husband time. Hey, Mrs. Gale?
Yeah, good.
you
It's got
wanna-
a variety of different, I'm looking at the different conjunctions. You've
Given
got
your
and
highlighter there. Off you go.
Yeah.
Do
And
you
you
wanna
can see there,
identify
you've got and, you've got coordinating. You've got phrases here, Miss Me. I'm going to highlight in pink, just so we can kind of clarify any vocabulary, because I know that actually quite a lot of year sixes, when they see vocabulary or a phrase that they're not sure about, it's really important that we understand actually what we're trying to say here. So we've got here, Miss Me, can you explain to the year sixes, what does that mean?
So that means just in the middle of all of the problems that are going on around you. So the commotion just means something big has happened, a big event of some sort. So Lady Macbeth, fainting. And then if you're amidst the commotion, that means you're in the commotion yourself. So you're actually involved with it.
And sometimes a commotion can be quite a noisy environment. It's quite a big event that's taking place.
And loads of people are often involved.
Now, there's a really good term here that can mean two different things. And the other thing I'm going to highlight here is blue. Macbeth addressed his fellow fellow companions. So in this term, we know that addressed, quite often you could, like if you address someone, could you explain what that means? And also his fellow companions, what does that mean, Miss Smith?
So address means talking to or just sharing his thoughts, and fellow companions means people around him. So the immediate people around him. Companions is another word for friends. So he considers them as friends. I'm not sure they would consider Macbeth as their friend though. So addressing fellow companions means talking to the people in front.
Yeah, great. So if you were to summarise this, Miss Mia, amidst the commotion, Macbeth addressed his fellow companions, how would you summarise what that means?
So I would say the following. I'd say in and amongst all the trouble, Macbeth still managed to speak to the people, even though there was a lot going on around him.
Yeah. So hopefully that's helped address something. And the other thing that I really like the way you use this verb here is Lady Macbeth could sense the arousing suspicion. So what are you saying here, Miss Mia?
Well, Lady Macbeth could see that the people around Macbeth were getting a bit suspicious of King Duncan's death and maybe were thinking that Macbeth had something to do with it. So arousing suspicion just means that people around her, or she was getting suspicious or a bit wary of people around her and wanted to cause a scene to distract them.
Yeah, and arousing just means it's kind of growing. So the suspicion is really, really growing. If you're suspicious about somebody, you're a little bit unsure whether they're going to be telling the truth or not. You think there's a bit more to something than meets the eye.
Absolutely.
So I might be a bit suspicious of the way sometimes Miss Mia looks at me thinking, what does she want?
And
What does she need?
you're right to be suspicious, Mrs. Gale.
And Miss Mia might be suspicious of the way I took the cup at the beginning from the Year 6 swimming team. Like,
Absolutely.
what are you doing?
From this class.
So that's kind of what it means. So hopefully those are some of the things that actually, there's one more thing, Miss Mia.
Okay.
I love this. Flurry of activity. It's not a McFlurry. Definitely not a McFlurry. Don't be thinking that.
You are ridiculous. So flurry of activity just means there's lots going on around you. So there's been a murder, you can tell, and it's in a castle where loads of people are staying there. They had a banquet the following the evening before, so loads of people are there. The king's died, so everyone's around, all manic and stuff running around, and there's just loads going on. So noise, people, lots going on.
So a good tip would be is whilst you're writing gold, maybe have a look at the pink phrases that we've discussed, some of those vocabulary, and those higher level vocabulary or high level vocabulary or phrases, and steal them and see if you can incorporate them into your writing as well, because there's some great things there that Miss Mia has included. Well done, Miss Mia.
And also that rippled through the halls, so
I love
that just kind of the information just disseminating around everyone. So like rumours spread really quickly. King Duncan's death, the news of his death has rippled and spread really quickly. Okay, another idiom as well. So, are we ready to move on?
Yes, we are.
All right, great. Well, that was the end of the input, so hopefully you all have a good understanding of what's expected from you. And thank you very much for listening, and stay safe and take care.
Bye.